Hey there, Groovesters, Groove Stars, Ridgely here with another Groove Growth program. Very excited to have a new friend, but feels like an old friend. Feel like we've known each other forever. Met through Mastermind, which, as you know, I'm very, very passionate about masterminds. Lee Tunney-Ware from Ireland, all the way from Ireland in his compound. And we are going to have a fabulous conversation. But we're going to kick it off with a little bit of controversy here. And that is the following. Lee, your premise is the subconscious does not exist. And so passionate about it that you've actually put a reward out for anybody who can prove you wrong of €1,000. So
that's right. One-off payment.
Well, I'm fascinated by this idea.
Well, I state the subconscious mind does not exist. Yeah. And the reason being is now me looking at you, trying to work out what's going on below your surface. Bear in mind, below your surface. That's very tricky for me. I can utilize body language, syntax of language, like so many different clues I can look for, but I have no idea of what's going on below your surface. Now, it's not sub to us because we've actually experienced it. Now, when we go through our drama and trauma and we get forward into our future and we look back into our past.
Hey there, Groovesters, Groove Stars, Ridgely here with another Groove Growth program. Very excited today to speak with a new friend who feels like an old friend, like we've known each other forever, so many commonalities. Lee Tunney-Ware in Ireland, all the way from Ireland, morning my time, afternoon his time. And we're going to kick this off with a little bit of controversy because Lee has a premise that I think is particularly interesting, which is that the subconscious does not exist. And you are so passionate about this, Lee, that you've actually put a reward out, €1,000 for anybody who can prove you wrong. So tell us a little bit about this. That's a great way to kick off a lively dialogue.
Very good. Well, I state that the subconscious mind does not exist. And I'm happy to be wrong because when I'm wrong, I learn. So I'm always happy to learn. And I offer a reward of €1,000, one-off payment for anybody that can prove me wrong. Like I say, I love to be wrong because that's where the learning is, where many of us protect ourselves from being wrong. So now bear in mind, not in the way I premise it is that I'm not here to debate beliefs, point of views, feelings. I'm here for the truth. It's the same way I draw my next breath. That I know I'm going to draw my next breath. Same as the sun will come up tomorrow. To me, that's true. There's a ceiling above me here and there's a floor below me. So I've done my best to take belief out of my life. And beliefs control many of us in so many different ways. And opinions control us. But I done an event once and I asked a question and do opinions and beliefs control us? And then I put it into sort of a workshop frame and asked people to come back with the answer. And I said, then before we go into your answers, could you tell me the difference between an opinion or a belief? What's the difference between an opinion and a belief? And the room sort of went quiet because now they couldn't give me their answers that they worked on, because how could they give me their answers if they didn't know what the opinion was and the difference between an opinion and belief? So an opinion can be based on information or knowledge. And bear in mind, they're so good, even a trained professional, when he or she gives their opinion, if you don't like it, you can't get a second one, as in a doctor. So opinions can vary from who you get them. Some people are trained and can give a very precise one. Many of our opinions are organic, like a leaf on the wind, and we pick up data as we go and with feelings and different things like that. But when we put a feeling into it, it's no longer a belief. It's no longer an opinion. It actually transcends to a belief. So when it goes from the left brain, in my mind, down into the heart, which is the emotion, or down into the gut, which is the biology, or down into the solar plexus, which is the spirit, when it puts one of those internal energies with it, it now becomes a belief, which can become very governing for us, even down to the point that we experience life sometimes before we experience life, as we live within expectations. And that's normally from fear, because we're trying to preempt the future. So I say fear's from biology, reptilian brain, fight, flight, freeze, but true fear is only there to protect the biology, the life form. Being worried isn't fear, but it's anxiety, left brain, triggering biology, internal. Right? True fear is external. The challenge is we all have those feelings of falling off a bike, falling off a tree. That feeling was true fear because the biology was threatened. And it's a bit like duck if you've never eaten it. Some say it's a bit like chicken. Now, it's nothing like chicken, but there's a small bit that's like it. It's a bird. Where fear is very similar. We've had the feeling of falling out of a tree, yeah, or maybe getting a punch, or if we were in martial arts, different things like that. And we know that sense of fear. And we say, and if you listen very carefully, people actually tell you, I feel a little bit, I feel like I'm scared. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm lost. Feel like. They're not lost, because if they were lost, they say they're lost, but they say, I feel like. I feel like I can't do it. I feel like I'm not capable. I feel like I have no self-value. I feel like I've lost my confidence. I feel like. And those feel like feelings you've got to be very careful of. When we come back to the subconscious mind, is when I say that not interested in people's, now interested in people's opinions in the conversation, but in this reward, not interested in people's opinions, not interested in people's point of views, not interested in any book, any medical profession, unless they can prove to me the subconscious mind does not exist, or it categorically exists. The challenge is we live our life many times on beliefs, and they're like unconscious biases. They're not exactly, because a bias, if it was a belief, would be the same, but they're like preordained, organic, could be bequeathed, ancestral thinking, RNA, DNA. There's loads of ways we can get them, or we can just get them from school, from feelings, and we create all these illusions within ourselves that create the reality, and we become the stimulus in the environment. Other people react or respond to us, and we create reality, the world the way it is. But to see the subconscious mind, no human being ever has seen the subconscious mind. Out of all the billions of autopsies, MRI scans, CT scans, whatever scan, or any virtual scan that's going to come, nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever said it resides there in the human being. So it's not actually a mind. So the language is very misleading. And it's not actually subconscious, as in below consciousness. Consciousness is everything we can reference or aware or communicate. But to be below consciousness means all it is feelings. Feelings like emotions, feelings like biological sensory data or internal triggered data, or feelings like an excitement. So I break it down into 5 modalities. Left brain, process systems thinking, which I'm sure you're all aware of in that type of frame. Right brain, creative, dance, different things. But the creativity is more, when I talk about right brain, it's more vision based. So if we went into NLP, auditory, visual and kinesthetic, or VARC, then you've got the gustatory, the sensory data. When somebody says they're stuck, what part of the human is creating that feeling? Because a stuck is not a thought, it's a reference to a feeling. I'm lost is not a thought, it's a reference to a feeling. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels is a reference to a feeling, all physical. When they say I'm not enjoying what I do, it's actually emotion, joy, happiness, not love. Love is different. Joy, happiness, or anything to do with an emotional feeling. Excitement is spirit. So when somebody says I'm not proud about what I do, they're talking about the spirit in my world. When somebody says I'm not enjoying what I do, they're talking about emotion. When they say I'm stuck, lost, stressed, overpowered, pressured, all physical feelings. What that tells me, and what it enables them to realize, is it's their biology of its pressure. If they're lost, stuck, any physical word, any physical reference is to the biological being, as in it's running within the biological operating system. Now, if we take that into drama or trauma, if a child, and take it as a child was put down as a child is being put down, being name called. How has the data gone in? Has it gone in through the physical being, as in touch, pressure? No, it's gone in through sensory data, auditory. So where is it referenced? It's going to be referenced in the left brain. Now, the left brain can then trigger internal feelings in the biology or the emotions or the spirit. If the child's been beaten, then the data's gone in through biology. Now, if we're a psychologist we're working with this child 20 years on, and they know, I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. And they transition you back to the inner child, the memories, and they haven't got a memory. I don't know. I can't. There's nothing in my past that I can actually put it down to. Yeah. Now, I got hit when I was a kid, or I got picked on. But when the psychologist, if it's a memory, then it's stored in left or right brain. And that's what we consider to be consciousness, things we can recall, things that we can relate, things that other people can understand. When we talk about unconscious, each individual has a unique sensory data. They experience the world so individually, but we are living on an algorithm of consciousness to navigate the outside world. So it's not actually sub, nor has it ever been referenced or seen. However, let's say that what I'm saying is gobbledygook, yeah, let's say it's gobbledygook. But when you look at it this way, just imagine for a moment, and all I ask you to do is imagine, that's right brain. And while you're imagining, just think about this, that's left brain. Just imagine for a moment that the subconscious mind controls 90 to 95% of who you are. Just imagine for a moment it doesn't exist. Does that make you fully responsible, accountable to your heartbeat and your breath and your future, your family, your life, that now there is no reason or excuse to take away 90 to 95%? So it puts you fully present. And then in that place of what some might call accountable, what I might call self, where we're no longer in the governance of beliefs, we're actually sitting in the essence of our truth. And at that place, when you meditate there, free of all nature, nurture, social constructs, free, where no feeling or thought, past or present, is that you're either in the future, fear is future-based, you're either in trust is future-based, you're either in belief, which is future-based, present to future, or regret, present to past, remorse, present to past, guilt, present to past. When you're present, you're no longer caught in your memories or the echoes, the residual emotional, spiritual, biological echoes of your feelings, as in the past you should have passed, processed. Because being present is being totally free from the future and from the past. Well, when we're present, there is no subconscious. There is only I or you or me. But most of us are speaking through our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding, our doubts, our fears, our insecurities, and so forth. But when we're present, so back to the reward, anybody can show me the subconscious mind, either pickled in a jar or a true virtual representation, not on about an artificial AI type representation. Show it to me on a scan, like they can scan and see a baby inside a woman. Show it to me, and then they can have the reward. But if nobody can show it to me, and I've never had anybody claim the reward. Now they can work as a team, consult any medical reference. All I ask is to see the subconscious mind.
So let's
if
talk
it can't be seen. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second and what it means. Let's just go with the premise that it doesn't exist and that we are basically accountable. We have the ability to count for ourselves in multiple areas, in all areas of our life. Look around you. We are the manifestation of it. Certainly from a karmic perspective, Buddhist would say you're the manifestation of the thoughts, words, and deeds up until this very present moment, right? So what can we do with that information? What where do we go with that? Let's just make that premise and that assumption.
Good question.
What do we do?
Well, first of all, when we live under the umbrella of it existing, every emotion, every feeling spiritual or biological or emotional, is actually restrained and put down into what we expect to feel, what we expect to taste. And people even say, I never expected that. But expectations are a form of living in the future and a form of governance on every single living human we will see and interact with. And if they interact, because if you look at most disagreements as in conflicts, they're a breaking of belief. I believed you would do this, but you did that. I can't believe he did that. I never thought it would happen. So it's all a judgment on another free thinking human being. So when we're present in ourselves and beyond trust, because trust really is a shield. That's all it is. It's a shield to protect us, to protect our feelings, to protect our drama and trauma. So we need the trust. We need to be liked. But when the subconscious mind is gone and we're just a spiritual, biological being, and we're in the present moment and the only intention to be present, because if we have any other intentions, then possibly we're looking to control, which means we're moving from intention to expectation. The freedom or sovereignty, liberty we might call, but they're all just social construct words. Freedom is your biology. In my world, if your biology is not chained, freedom is a physical word. But I think what we mean by freedom is that we are not governed to feel before we experience. That we are not governed to think of another human's thoughts, as in, what will John think if I say that? Because now we're living in a feeling that's controlling the thought, which means John is governing us without even him being aware. The freedom to express, not to push a narrative. Mm-hmm. So with the subconscious mind gone and it not existing, and we're within our own being, realizing that yes, mum and dad taught us from their fears, doubts, insecurities, and controlled or had good self-control or lack of it, medicated the lack of control with whatever medication, drugs, drink, and the consequences of not being able to deal with our internal, whether it's trauma, karma, drama. When the subconscious mind is gone, as in the belief of it, because you wonder how people thought and felt before Freud came up with it. Mm-hmm. And you wonder if you took, no disrespect to Freud, clever guy in some ways. However, not, in my opinion, a man of good character or good ethics. So in my world, I don't follow people that don't have character and good ethics, because it means they're running. And I'm not I don't mean it in a negative way, but that's just my rules. I don't follow people with character who don't have character. Where Freud in his story, however true, is like basically he was having relationships with his clients, he was experimenting or doing heroin, nothing wrong with it, if that's what you want, but in a professional stance. And then other professionals learning that, then they're learning the morals, the incorrect morals. You wonder if you took Darwin out of the equation, would Freud have ever come up with primeval instincts, implying that millions of years of evolution governs a developed human? So this fight, flight, freeze, reaction and response. I mean, we have 5 choices: fight, flight, freeze, reaction and response. Organically, if we're left to our organic self, then yes, I would agree. But if we've done the work or become conscious, aware, free of judgment of others, because as soon as we judge another, we actually lock ourselves into the paradigm to be judged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which means as soon as we make a judgment, I cannot speak to you authentically, because I already have an assessment of the future. You've got to like me. If he likes me, I might get loads of listeners. If I get loads of listeners, I might get loads of clients. And if I'm in that world, then I'm not showing up as me. If I'm here for ego and like, if I say this, they think I'm clever, which really, I'm dyslexic. I have trouble reading. Yeah, I left school at 8.5. So then I found out I got an IQ of 176. So which one's true? The fact is I can't read very well when I'm 58 years old. But if I allow that, that's the truth. If I allow the truth to impact me as in I'm a stupid, but I can think, it's only that I have, and I can write, but it's the spelling part. Mm-hmm. So that if I summarize it all up, what does it mean to be free of the subconscious? It means to be, in my world, YOU. However, if you're in the center of the O, right in the dot, like it was a bullseye of the YOU, you're in the heart of I and in the center of ME, which means you're alone, which means you're selfish. However, if you're in the heart of us, right in the center of the U and the S, and right in the center of the W and the E, because a lot of people want enlightenment, but they want it for themselves, and they've got goals. Loads of people have got goals, but to have goals beyond oneself is transcension, like where you ascend, because your energy automatically compounds because you're looking for your energy to protect and secure others, not from fear or doubt. When the subconscious mind and I believed in it, because it's not truth, because it can't be seen, so it can only be believed in. When I believed in it, it actually governed everything for me. When I became aware, I became, for me, inside my skin, free, because my thoughts were no longer governed. I could actually think and not listen to chatter. I could actually feel and not allow, bear in mind, it's sensory data that comes in from the outside world. The sensory data is a sense. The data is not the feeling. It's a sense, like a light, a security light. The security light is a sensor. The sense goes off, turns the light on. The light goes on and illuminates. Our senses, in my world, when our senses not get triggered, that's a direct line to trauma, karma, drama. When the sense goes off, the light comes on, the light goes on. You should be a bit like a magnifying glass, holding it right down to the point where it literally down to the spark, and your conscious awareness hears, sees, doesn't judge. And that's consciousness. Now I'm consciously aware. Then I check in with my internal data, not my program data. How does that feel to me? Do I feel happy? Do I feel a sense of spirit, as in pride, passion, purpose? Do I feel motivated? Yeah, spirit, pride, passion, purpose is spirit. Joy, happiness, yeah, emotion. Motor is biology, the movement. Anything do or action comes from biology. So is my biology feeling alive with a strength, not for fight, but if I go into fight, then I'm in fear, which means now whatever turn the light on is controlling me. Now I become a puppet or a muppet. A puppet is controlled by strings, which means all my biology is being controlled by the data. A muppet is controlled from the inside, and they move your lips. So a muppet is when you speak something that isn't true, just to fit in with the environment, you're actually being controlled by what turned the light on. So whether that, happy to have any questions, try to put it in a nutshell, still finding a language for it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you know what I find is I'm a we're just getting to know each other. So I'm a geek. I'm a super geek. I have all these degrees and I keep getting more of them. I keep finding myself back in another program or something because I love the learning thing. And last December, I finished my second master's degree in value creating education and global citizenship. And one of the things that we were truly focused on was, where do the boundaries stop between countries, between people, between things? And what is true dialogic exchange?
Say that one for me again. What is
true dialogic exchange? In other words, the exchange of a dialogue, true dialogue. And a lot of the the premise of true dialogue implies that at every moment in this conversation right now, we are co-creating the future between us. In other words, I'm showing up fully present, listening intently, discovering what's happening moment by moment by moment without trying to prejudge anything, knowing, of course, that I'm drawing on my reservoirs of information and data, as we all are, but the ability to be in this moment fully present, saying, okay, where are we going with this? And how does this serve the world? How does it go from I to we, right? From me to us. And so many of the things that you said are flat out fascinating and interesting. And I don't know where it goes either, brother. I mean, I'm sitting here going, this is a process of how do we get people to just wake up to their beingness right now, that you have the ability to control your thoughts and feelings as you move forward.
Well, and I suppose just on that word there, bear in mind now it sounds like I'm correcting you, I'm not. That word control, I think, is, so it's a bit like I had a conversation yesterday, and one of my clients in a coaching environment, in a group coaching, said, I want to inspire people. I said, you do realize that inspiration is manipulation? She said, I'm sorry. I said, well, if you're inspiring them, if you're inspiring them and they haven't asked for it, then you're actually controlling them. Now, if they've asked for it, as in I'm uninspired, I don't know what to do, I need to get my inspiration back, my spirit back. So either because I want to inspire people, inspiration, So for example, because that word control, see, what does it actually mean? Where if I'm speaking to a free human being, free in every way, from color, sex, shape, free, regardless of what country, origin, or what class, because we've got so many, I suppose, unconscious biases that, in a sense, prejudgment. We don't even have to think, we just jump to it. We're consciousness and being present and being aware. It's not being, it's a bit like, and Bruce Lee said it, it's like water. You can fit into any container. You can be a gas, as in steam. You can be a solid, as in ice, or you can be snow and a mixture of both, or you can be water. And I found it's much easier to be water, that in a sense you flow with it, you move with it, because your energy is not contained. And when we speak with the premise of, let's say I'm talking to John and I think John's a little bit slow. Don't want to say that because I don't want to hurt his feelings. One of three: physical, emotional, or spiritual. So I don't want to hurt his feelings, which means I'm not intentional with my word. It means I'm not telling him the truth. But that isn't the truth, see. That's, if I don't tell him and I lie to him, as in I tell him something different to what I feel or think, then I say, well, John, I think you're a little bit slow. I can't believe you said that to me. It's hurt my feelings. That's all. It's only I've made a judgment of John. It's my judgment I'm communicating, and even though it is true, isn't it? And what we encourage is other people to concur with us. You think I'm right, Mary, don't you? Well, yeah, I would agree with you, John. You're not the smartest fellow in the book. But now I've got two people saying it, and it's very controlling, because when we decide not to involve ourselves in life, what is actually controlling us? Who or what is controlling us? When we come off of control and we come to collaboration, synergy, that all humans, all life forms have a presence that is, and presence as in they're present, but presence also means they're gifts. So if I'm present, I can give my gifts. My gifts, whether they choose to accept them, even Buddha said that, if you choose not to accept it, who does the gift belong to? So, but however, if I'm speaking with intention to inspire, to motivate, then I'm actually controlling. Now, if I speak with the intention to manifest what they want, not what I want, then they get goosebumps. That's biology. That's when the motors get engaged, when the physical bodies get engaged. So I can break my language down into an educator and I'm a left brain speaker. Yeah. I can be a visual educator and utilize the multisensory presentation to left brain talk and right brain show so they see it. I can be an inspirational speaker when I speak to the spirit. I can be a motivational speaker when I speak to the biology. I can be an empathetic speaker and I speak to the heart. I can be a transformational speaker and I speak to all 5 modalities at the same time with no intention for me other than if they, and most people think, believe, accept that they have to work on themselves, implying there's something wrong with them and they're not good enough already. So I have to do this to get that. And they're very future based. So it's not, in my world, it's not that they need to work on themselves, because I can work on my garden, I can work on my car, I can work on my house. I can't work on myself because I'm a single entity. I cannot talk to myself because I'm a single entity. If I started talking now, I can speak out loud and hear myself. That's not talking to myself. That's just referencing to the real world, allowing my data, my sense to bring the data back in so I can think it through. But I'm not actually speaking to myself. So if I start answering myself, I've got a problem. But where I'm going with it is this, that it's the future, the organic future from our nature, nurture, karma, drama, armor, that we've preordained in our future, one individual, and then mum, dad, sister, brother, teacher, whatever, they've all got a fair idea of the preordained future that's coming, the organic future. And everybody has these expectations and judgments of each individual. So if you were talking to your mate at McDonald's and he's working in the checkout at the drive-through, you go, all right, John, how you doing? All right, mate. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, I know. Yeah. What are you doing here? I'm only here for a few days. I'm going to be a millionaire next week. Would you believe him? But that judgment isn't of him. It's of his future. So manifestation of the quantum in the individual I can manifest. But what I'm trying to manifest is the energy to get to literally de-manifest the preordained future that's in everybody's consciousness for me that knows me. So the fight, that uphill struggle, that getting to the summit is either an internal battle because we put ourselves down or we believe what's said to us. We defend ourselves by becoming we put an average of the 5 people around us. So we eject negative people from our lives, but they're not really normally negative. They've just got a different future for us. But when we communicate, not to prove, not to convince, not to put down or to put up, when we communicate with our presence and no drama and armor, they see us in the now, and they also see our future. And when they see our future, they manifest the new preordained future organically, which means I can move through the cooking pot of life and not get simmered. Because when we're running on our subconscious and our beliefs and fears and doubts and insecurities, or we create stimulus that creates a reaction response, fight, flight, or freeze in someone else to verify that we are correct, because none of us want to disrespect ourselves by, contradicting ourselves. So according to your beliefs, let it be done unto you. But when we are present, we have no control. We are in flow, synergy, harmony, compassion, and our feelings of empathy and sympathy can either create all the wonderful things we all want, or they can actually be a leash to condemn us to buy into somebody else's reality. So sympathy in belief structure, I have to sympathize. Well, but if I can see from that sympathy that it's going to take their future away, condemn them, ruin their relationships, and put them into medication of life, drugs, drama, whatever, then it's my responsibility to protect that human, that spiritual being, but not with judgment. And they might be ready for where they are, but to ask somebody, do you need my support and help? Do you want a different feeling? Do you want to be free of the future and be present? If they say yes, brilliant. But then if we educate them on something they already know, then we're not actually educating. All we're doing is reminding. But that's just my perspective. It's only perspective. Doesn't mean to say it's real.
And let's talk about that for a second, because sometimes people need to be reminded. Sometimes they need to be reminded a lot. Yeah.
And well, reminded, and sometimes reminded as in of the wisdom they already have. And I think most conflicts, I think this, which means sometimes people ask me, what do you think, Lee? And I say, well, I don't do thought. Yeah, because I do know thoughts are wrong. Well, what's your opinion? I don't do opinions either. They cause too much conflict. So what do you believe then? I don't do belief either. So, but language says I must use the word thought. If I say it's a knowing, I know this to be absolutely true, it can be heard arrogantly. So I'm just sharing a thought, but my thoughts in my head, I've took all the chatter away and I've thought this thought. I've created it in my head. It's my thought. Now, other people might think a similar thought. I'm not saying it's mine as it's mine to keep. Is when we intentionally think, spirit or emotion or biology drives the thought. But when we react or respond, then either stimulus or anxiety drives the biology and the spirit and the emotion. Now, depending on the feelings and how they've cooked inside, because it's a combination, I call it a combination of life, it's one of five, and it doesn't mean there's a default one. They can change with time and people. As in who you speak to, you can be confident here and unconfident there, happy here, sad there. The thought of meeting somebody can make you sad. But where I think people, from what they've told me, is they're too far in the present, or too far in the future and not in the present, or they're too far in the past. So if you listen to people talking, it's not just which modality they're in, what are they expressing? Because the words aren't the message. The words are the vessel that carries the message. They're the envelope that delivers the letter. When you open that letter, what feelings does it initiate? Now, those feelings are data. They're not control. So when you feel it, that tells you their premise intention. What's going on here? Well, I feel controlled. Oh, very good. I feel that they're talking down to me. Now, if I know myself, is this my data or theirs? Is this them triggering me and I'm reacting from a memory? Or is this, they're very good with the language, got a mask on? This is where trust comes in. This is where, like, memories of, to remind somebody, well, I know I can trust Ridley, like, because he's a good guy and hangs around with good guys. So his reputation comes before him, supersedes him, and I speak to him through his reputation. If I speak to him through his reputation, then I'm not speaking to him at all. So that's where judgment comes in, because if I need safety, if I need his reputation to verify him, friend or foe, then I'm not present. If I'm present and somebody says something to me, then all I have to do is, if I know me, then I know this isn't my data. This is somebody trying to install data. So then I can either let my brain run away with itself like that song I can't get out of my head, or I can think the thought. I can think the thought. So I think, Lee Tunney-Ware thinks, whether I'm right or wrong, but I think him, is that when there's a conflict, it's either so people are having an argument or a debate. An argument or a debate is opinion or thought against opinion or thought. If they're having a fight, the fight is physical, so that's biology against biology. If you're having a conversation that develops into a debate, that develops into an argument, you'll see the biology coming involved. The finger will come out, the canines will come out, the tonality will come up. And that's when the biology, the fight, flight, freeze is being triggered, and the force, that control is coming. So which will be being controlled emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, in our future, as in right brain vision. So to be free from it all and to literally be present is when you're speaking to somebody, is put something in real time. See, a handshake makes you present. Biology against biology. When you shake somebody's hand, what energy, what flow are you putting into that experience? Because that is you connecting energy to energy. A bit like plugging in an extension lead. Now, if I'm in fear, doubt, or insecurity, you'll know by my handshake. If I can shake your hand and not be in fear, your internals pick up my handshake. You'll feel my energy. You'll feel my presence. Not my presence of force, but my presence of just equilibrium. Even if you're not in touch with your feelings, as soon as you shake my hand, and I would imagine it's the same with you, when somebody shakes your hand, they feel that the drama isn't there and they just open up to you. Mm-hmm. They're transparent. So how it all comes together, when you speak to another human, what part of you is speaking to them? So if you're speaking to your son, are you, or your daughter, and you say, well, you need to get your exams done, son, because if you don't, you won't get the education that you need. And if you don't get the education you need, you won't get the career that you need. And if you don't get the career that you need, you won't have the clothes and food and holiday and the car and home and everything that you want. So that they're stacking their future on one grade or one exam. But what they're actually, they're trying to motivate them, make them accountable, but they're actually demotivating them, putting pressure on them, uninspiring them, installing memories in them in their future, not in the present. They're delivering it in the present, but what they're actually doing is manifesting a negative future, installing it in that son or daughter, and they will go through life triaging out the things they want to either get a specific grade, or then that grade, it's only a grade, but that grade then has been, you get XYZ grade, you can have a feeling of security. That's a feeling, biological. You can have a feeling of safety. That's biological. You can have a feeling of comfort. That's biological. You can have a feeling of happiness. Oh, that's emotion. You can have a feeling of excitement. That's spirit. So when you're speaking, if you're speaking to your son, your daughter, your partner, your lover, don't speak from your doubt, your fear, your insecurities, or your thoughts, or your judgments. Come into the present. Am I in the future? Am I in the past? I don't like you because you did X. That's past. Did they do X intentionally or organically? There's a big difference. With intention, matters of forethought, then they decided to do it. Now there's a threat. If they've done it organically, I must have the wisdom to see where they are and in what timeline they are. Are they in their past? And I'm present. They could be an hour or two, a year or 5 away from me. But we're in real time together. We're present physically. The biology's here. Well, what other 5 modalities and where are they? Their emotions could be in the future. Their spirit could be in the future. Their biology could be in the past. Their psychology could be caught in a memory of thought what dad said. Their imagination could be caught in a dream to cope with all the other modalities. So when we speak to somebody, lock in each modality, handshake, physical, yeah, and then smile, and don't go into the future. Don't go into like any intention. How do you feel? Yeah, I'm good, and you can tell by them when you know by the handshake that they're good. Well, and then if you go into intention, my intention of the conversation today is to make you feel more yourself than you've ever felt before, where every part of your existence is adorned of your conception in the universe serves you to the highest standard. Would that be a good outcome for our conversation? Where every belief that's condemning you literally just melts away like a snowflake, where every part of your existence steps up inside and you know that you breathe for you, your heart pumps for you. This is your life. And your future is as safe as you could ever imagine. Would you like to go beyond belief and imagination, drama, trauma, karma, to take you to true presence, where you can deliver your gifts to humanity in whatever niche or area you want, whether that just be your family? So anyway, and so when you get present, it comes and you don't have to think about it. This isn't scripted. I'm just talking.
No, it's great. It's great. And
can I say it to you this way? Our dog Ruby the other day, our dog, I was going to show you there, our dog Ruby the other day, a neighbour fed her some pork chops. And she's a Labrador, lovely dog, only 2 or 3 years old, gorgeous dog. And I don't know why he fed her some pork chops and a bit of chicken. And we think it had gone off. But anyway, her stomach started to swell and she had to go and have her operation. She had to go to the vet. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And my wife phoned me. And she was in tears. Now, I was here looking after the kids. She went with my daughter. It's my daughter's dog. And she phoned me. And she said, whatever it is you do, can you do it now? Because our dog was on the operating table, dead, or just dying. Now, the ability to deny reality, because reality is organic, unless you're present. And you can hear it the wrong way. You can hear it from ego and listen to me, I know best. I don't know nothing. I'm the least among you. Don't want to be anybody. Don't want to be somebody. I'm just me. And I can hear her pain. And obviously my emotions, I love my wife. So when she asks me to say, I'm going to do everything I've got in my world to help her, but I can't buy in to prove it or convince it. But when she was crying, she'd already told me the future, her future. What she phoned me for was a different future. Now I can go in and think through it, but I didn't. I just saw Ruby in one of those collars, the ones she'd never had one before, the one that they put around their neck to stop them from getting to wounds and that. I just saw that. And she said, whatever you do, and when she phoned me, the dog was dying. And how do you go into the flow and not control it, but to be that present, not to trust it? Because when you're in flow, you don't need trust. So I just saw it. That was it. I carried on watching the telly. I was watching Captain Picard, Star Trek. I put that on. I thought, yeah, I'll watch that. And she phoned me in it, and she asked me, and that's fine. And when they come back, my daughter and my wife were totally in tears. And I said, no need to worry. She'll be fine. Yeah, I know, Dad. I said, oh, no, there's no need to worry. And I had no worry, no concern, no fear, no doubt, no insecurity, no I hope it works, nothing. Not a thought, not a feeling, nothing. Totally present, like it never happened, not in denial. And the reason I've said that story, because that's how you get present. That in a sense, no other data, whether that be a feeling, a thought, emotion, a spirit. The challenge is sometimes when we look to get to that ascension or that enlightenment, we utilize meditation as a form of medication, which means we're utilizing spirit technique to quieten mind, spirit technique to quieten body. What happens with that then is why is our mind out of sync already? Why is it confused? Why is it too loud? Why is it too busy on the movie screen of the mind? Why is our heart pumping? Why is our body stressed? But meditation is for spirit. So when our mind's quiet and we're present and we're not in the future or the past, when our heart's happy, but not happy as in you've got to be in joy, you just got to be whole. Anyway, I could talk all day about, but what I wanted was somebody that my intention is that somebody listens to this, or people listen to this, that their future's changed for them. I can't design their future. But when you look at your wife, and it could be a relationship ending, it could be a relationship starting to end, it could be your love starting to break. It could be you're in doubt of your job, your career, and the thought now becomes the manifestation of your interaction or the feeling. Be present. Look at your boss, look at your lover, look at your wife, look at your kid. Don't go into the future. And speak from that place of love. So when you say, I love you, every part of your resistance should actually mean it. And that's flow. And when you say it, they don't deny it. And the best love language in the world, and I think the 5 Love Languages, very clever book because it puts words on something. It's very hard to put words on. But to speak with the intention to help, to support, to instigate, whatever the word is, presence. It's a bit like being at the purest waterfall where no human's ever gone before. And when you speak to somebody there, they don't need trust. They see you and know you are, and it illuminates their future, not yours. because that's ego. If I speak to transform my future, then I'm looking to control. If I speak to transcend somebody else's, either with data or wisdom, then my intention is to make their life better, not feather my own nest, if that makes sense.
For sure. I love that. We'll end on that note. Think of it as seeing for the first time a waterfall that no one has ever seen before. Lee Tunney-Ware, thank you very, very much for all of your wisdom that you've shared with us. Obviously, team, you know where to go to find out more about Lee and his work, the things that he does. The link is right there. Check it out. The resources he recommends right there. Check those out. And I look forward to hopefully doing this again, maybe many times, my friend. Thank you so
Very
much.
grateful. Thank you.
All right.